What is the Imperial News Network?
INN serves the Star Citizen community with up-to-the-minute news.
We bring the developers and events closer to the community.
And we love Star Citizen, whether we're flying with our team or with our supporters.
Imperial News Network works hard every week to bring the verse to you.
We are the community's #1 source for all things Star Citizen.
And we're glad to have you along for the ride.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Here it comes. Coming up right here, right in your eyeballs. It's the podcast.
Hello. That's a hand.
Whoa. He can do transitions.
Woo. Woo.
Hey!
Oh,
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tilu, you asked for this. You better be here right now.
Tell me what you know about it. Show me how far it goes. Wanna fall down the rabbit hole. Tell me about all the planets, when the stars are in the sky, and how long till my ship will fly. 'Cause I've got a million questions. Please give me some answers. I wanna know. How long does it take? How long must I wait? Please just show me something great. God, look at all those polygons. I know just what that means. I need a new video card, and don't fret, cause it isn't ready yet, but it's not far away. It's just soon. TM.
Oh.
Got a million questions. Please give me some answers. I wanna know. And how long does it take? And how long must I wait? Please just give me something great. Welcome to Inside the Verse.
We did it!
We did it!
Amazing.
T-Loop, I
Please
swear
fight
to
David
God, you
Strings.
better be happy. He's not even here.
Of course he's not.
It's what happens when the French ask for things. Welcome to the podcast. Nothing happened this week. Okay, let's close it up. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.
Have a good weekend.
Oh.
What?
I was trying to come up with a lead, but your guitar is so badly tuned that I couldn't actually tell what key you were playing in. So yeah,
Whatever it
I
was,
gave up.
it was several different keys and they were all flat.
They were all flat.
Sorry, I don't know how to play guitar.
No, you did very well.
More specifically, you don't know how to tune one.
Okay. So, Arvidian, please make a YouTube video of it.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
we post this on YouTube.
Yeah. It's going up there anyway. You can just rip it from there.
It needs to be a single. Be a Star Citizen single.
I've done 2 now.
Is it my turn? Do I have to make one?
I've been waiting for you to do one.
Okay, I'll make one.
Come on, I kind of liked my polygon line.
I'll make one.
It was a great one.
It's gonna be sad though,
Aw.
because yours are too happy.
CS and I did the Christmas Muppet thing on the podcast a few months. We could make like a Christmas EP.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Okay, so we did actually have like
A shit ton of news.
a lot this week.
So that being said, I think I'm gonna shorten the question segment a wee bit.
Just a wee?
Let's
Well,
go
we'll
until
see how long it takes us to get
No,
there.
I went
but-
before the stream.
if we got stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
we're going until 3:30
Yeah.
for part 1.
We're gonna start with Well, we're going to start with 2.5.
Because one, it kind of sounds like 2.5 is coming pretty soon. I mean, QA have been testing it pretty hard. Also, what we know we're going to be getting in 2.5 is going to be Grim Hex, new items to be purchased in shops, probably a lot more clothing. It sounds like, I think it was Austin, have been working on a lot of clothing for 2.5, and 2 flyable ships.
Yes.
The Reliant is going to be flyable, which is great because I really want to fly that damn thing. And the Argo.
Wait, does this mean that I get my Argo?
Yeah, you get your Argo. Idris owners,
Yes!
you get their Argos.
It's not just one Argo, is it? Those 2 variants.
And then
There's going to be 3 total variants. 2 of them will be flyable.
basically, it's one ship, but the actual container that the Argo holds underneath it will change.
Yeah.
But you know, this is gonna be a weird one because instead of doing a concept sail, they're kind of doing like a flight ready concept hangar ready sail thing.
Yeah.
Because
They haven't given us
done.
a price in advance or anything because they don't it's going to go live with the 2.5 post. So whenever 2.5 goes, we get the Argo. Which,
Yep.
I mean, that's cool. Anyone that doesn't know what the Argo looks like, go watch the Moro tour.
Yep.
Even though everyone complains that it's not in HD, who cares? You can still see it. So it's it's going to be flight ready, available. Price is unknown. 2 of the 3 models will be flight ready.
Yeah. Now, any speculation as to what they'll do?
The Argo variants.
Yeah.
One's going to be cargo,
I think one's cargo and one's search and rescue.
probably. Yeah, like
That was one of the main functions
Close.
of that ship.
close to the Idris / close to Bengal search and
Oh, yeah.
rescue, like near.
Interdiction.
One of the ideas about that ship was that it would go out because it has so many fighters on board. That ship. The idea was that it would go snatch up down fighter pilots.
Go rescue.
Interdiction. That's what the 3rd variant is going to be.
Just missiles.
Instead of cargo,
Inter-
no.
it-
Instead of
for the
cargo, it's
utility
just going to
ship?
have big engines there instead.
I could see another one having repair.
It's faster
Oh,
than
yeah,
the M50.
Totally,
In a
I
straight
could see
line.
that being a repair drone.
Now the biggest thing of news this week was the bloody Bengal.
Did it have blood on it? I didn't see any.
I don't think it did, but it's huge.
Yeah, it's fucking massive.
They had to use an
Pretty
Idris
big.
for scale.
And it's
And
not
I thought it was like a crumpet or something.
it's not just that they used an Idris for scale. The Idris fits inside the hangar of the Bengal.
Yep.
And one of the Bengal's guns is the size of an Idris.
That is. Can I mention something kind of interesting? That gun is actually a railgun. At least it used to be in the lore. And the first mention we ever got of the Retribution was when it was in an article talking about those railguns.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So yeah, the Bengal has one of those railguns, and the Retribution has many.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Now, I think the key thing to talk about the Bengal right now is apparently, we saw it. It looks amazing from the outside. You can fit an Idris in it. One of the turrets is the size of an Idris, etc. The key thing we heard is that apparently it's about 70% complete. They estimate the Bengal will be done in around 3 months.
And
What's
I'm gonna
sick?
I'm gonna extrapolate that out to 6, but yeah, it's
Do
coming
you-
along real.
Do you know what this means, though?
Lots
That means
of
the
things. What does
Bengal,
it mean?
the Bengal is ready for Squadron 42 already.
Yep.
Yeah, which they don't necessarily need because from what we know, it takes place on an Idris.
It'll
Well-
probably see the Bengal.
No,
But
I thought
We
the
know-
beginning of the game you started on the bridge of a Bengal.
No, you start on the bridge of an Idris.
Oh, I just thought you were kind of on an Idris most of the time.
Oh, maybe.
I
I don't know.
I thought you were on Shubin most of the time.
I think it's the 3
You don't know anything about
locations.
Squadron 42, everybody.
And that's why they've done such a good job. We have no idea where we start. We know that there's a
Maybe.
Bengal.
What if
probably
it's, you know, a
changed.
third of the game is on each?
That's also
Here's
possible.
here's the interesting things about the Bengal though. It's about 3 months out, right? 3 months puts us at what?
CitizenCon.
October? CitizenCon?
Actually, right on CitizenCon.
And you know what else?
Is done.
Well, yes, but you know what else? What else comes out around CitizenCon?
Oh,
ShivCon
Wait,
2016.
2.7 will be out around then too.
Yeah. Do you think that we might have a Bengal in 2.7?
I mean, actually, in the game, probably not.
Titanfall 2 comes out in October.
We might see a crap ton of the finished Bengal at CitizenCon. Though.
Yeah.
My birthday's in October.
Well, that's the most important. We should get Jake a Bengal.
My anniversary is also in October.
Everything's in October.
Oh, yeah.
CitizenCon.
One hell of a month.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, by the way, real quick, about 90% of us have solidified our CitizenCon plans.
Yep.
Short David and Vince.
We're gonna book our tickets.
Yeah. So
Apparently, I'm lagging a lot.
yeah, your frame rate on your camera is the worst today.
Should I like drop the call and call again to fix it? Will that fix it?
No, it'll break everything.
Break everything. Okay, well, I'll
do
just not
it-
move.
Do it during the break and see if that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Just move slower than normal.
Yes, I will move.
You can talk
very-
normally, just move slower.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen, right? We're gonna get an awesome gameplay slice of Squadron 42 in October. This is what's gonna happen. All right, that's gonna be the big whoo reveal. Haha, boom boom.
At the end of it,
shakalaka.
there's going to be a release date.
Yes, at the end of it, date. That's
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. 100%. That's what's gonna happen.
That's going to be the.
Now, whether they hit that
CitizenCon
date,
reveal.
that's
I
a
think their
whole
date-
nother thing.
I think their date is going to be December 31st, and I think they'll hit March.
That's what I'm
my
saying.
personal-
Q1, they're gonna hit. They're gonna be like, oh, we said 2016. What we meant was fiscal 2016.
I think it's going to launch on like December 18th, and no one's going to be able to play it until March.
Yeah.
No,
That works.
I-
Single player game.
I think it's going to launch on time still. I still have my faith.
I think it might, but I also think that it wouldn't surprise me if they just give the release date as Q1 2017 and try and hit that.
We'll see. I mean, it's like almost 100% we will find out at CitizenCon.
Carbide Edge says, I'm so much happier with SC stuff to talk about. Do you mean as
all?
opposed to last week?
Yeah.
I still have beef, but there's news this week, so.
Yeah. A lot of news.
A lot of news.
So
I
what
want
else happened? ATV.
how about the Bengal having elevators inside of its fucking hangar bay?
Yeah.
Amazing. Like there's
The
a trolley
trolley?
moving up and down. And you can also see from the exterior that it actually has another hangar bay up a level from the main one where you can exit the front, like almost like an aircraft carrier would.
It's
Did you
gonna-
see the Gladius coming out? I thought it was very sort of Buck Rogers, Battlestar-y. I thought it was really cool.
It was awesome. And it was just amazing. Like there's all these huge ships inside of there, and it still looked cavernous inside.
Mm. Oh, yeah, just to clarify, the Idris can fit inside the hangar, but you can't put an Idris in it because it didn't quite fit through the door, they said.
It can't fit through the door. Yeah.
But it's still
Fits
like
inside.
But the hangar is physically capable of holding one. You just,
Yeah.
you're not going to get it in very well.
That'd be an interesting comment. Somebody's gonna try that.
Well, Jake,
Shove it hard.
Jake,
What?
Your Idris has LTI, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm gonna ram it into everything.
Okay, there's probably gonna be like
2
speaking
week
of
waiting
LTI,
period to get a new one.
there will probably be like a month wait on a new Idris. Like
Yeah.
you got to
It'll be
pick your
worth it,
targets.
though.
You have
It'll
to
be
pick
worth
your
it.
targets. So
Think about it. Think about it.
drive it into a Bengal.
How glorious will an Idris exploding be?
God.
I don't know, man. I don't think there's enough
I want
polygons.
to see it like break in half like the Titanic, right? And then like
One of the
like yeah.
Oh look,
Yeah,
Captain Dolvac arrived.
So one of the ways they described designing, like, they're having difficulty getting the Bengal to actually work in the engine, which is one of the reasons why it's still 3 months away.
Yeah.
But they have a pipeline to get there. But yeah, they described it as being 3 or 4 battlefield maps stitched together, just the one ship.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I've started to realize that the Bengal is almost entirely hangar. Like crew and stuff will live in the bridge portion. Everything underneath is it's a massive hangar.
It's possible if it takes design cues from previous Chris Roberts games, the entire spine of the ship is hollow and effectively like a runway or taxiway for oncoming and outgoing, and then you just live around it.
Which makes sense.
I mean, there'll be obviously engine rooms and crap, but the vast majority of the Bengal is just a huge hangar bay.
I like the mouth that it's got, but my favorite hangar ship, carrier ship design is the
Never.
Clone Wars era Star Destroyers, because they open up at the top and then the ships like land. So like here's the ship and it opens up here, and the ships come in and land like this.
Oh, cool.
I really like the Endeavor's little kangaroo pouch.
Oh, totally. I love it too.
It's what it is. It's a kangaroo pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're getting so many pocket carriers now. The Caterpillar can carry a motorcycle gang.
Yep.
Yeah,
So here's another question about kind of what we saw this week, right?
Wait, before you move on, I want to show it. It's
Okay.
this. Here it is. Here it is. There it is. See?
Yeah.
It's got
cool.
this. So the ships come and land like on the top there. It's awesome. Okay, I'm done.
Now, this week ATV was amazing. It was
Pretty good.
It was a full like tour of UK. They just focused on UK stuff, and we saw the Bengal, which is phenomenal. Next week we get Austin. Austin is all about the PU. So, what do you think we'll see from Austin?
I think we might see some new shots of some
planets.
Some of the other planets, some of the other landing zones. So maybe Hurston, Microtech. What the hell is the other one? No, actually that's it. Hurston and Microtech. I don't know. Do you think they've still been working on Terra? They worked on it for a long time.
They have to be working on
Probably.
Terra.
Unless it's done.
Which is also possible. I think that we might see some bits about the AI.
I agree with Arvidian. We might see some female characters. Might finally see the female character model a bit. What will we see?
Do you know what'd be nice to
next-
see out of Austin?
What?
Gameplay mechanics.
It would. I don't get me started on.
There's my beef,
Signposts.
everyone.
I know. But Frankfurt the week after. The week after focuses on Frankfurt. Now, I don't want to like pick a studio that I'm most excited about.
Standby.
But standby?
Here, let me show you something that I found or that I saw on the internet.
I just every month INN summarizes the monthly report. And, we kind of all just grab whatever studio, except for Shiver, who every single time says, Frankfurt is mine, and if anyone else tries to take Frankfurt, I'm going to kill them. And that's kind of the excitement that everyone should have about Frankfurt and all the work that they do, because...
Let's see if this works.
Shiver can probably explain this better, but, like...
Nope.
You touch Frankfurt, and I will cut you.
I can't wait to see what Frankfurt has in a ATV devoted to Frankfurt.
Kind of hoping to see more of a piping system from them.
I'd like to see some piping system. I know that they're doing a lot of AI and FPS work, so I'd love to see some FPS updates from them. We should still be getting Star Marine
There
at
it
some
is.
Procedural Planets V2. Yeah.
You tweeted that a couple weeks ago, and everyone was like, what?
And the bastard thing is, they told us that we won't be able to see them in the next.
Well, they said we probably won't. Now,
I think they're saving that for
CitizenCon? Gamescom, probably.
Gamescom.
One thing that is interesting is in the monthly report this month, I think it was the UK art team are taking the procedural tech and making it look pretty. So the UK art team are doing art stuff to the tech that Frankfurt is.
Behavior is too.
Which was always the plan.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But if it's far enough along that the UK can start doing stuff to it, that means it's pretty far along if they can start, because you don't want to start doing art stuff if the procedural tech is all going to change. So we're
said
far
a few
enough.
months ago when they said about the river directions and water flow, I said that seems very much like polish work at this stage.
Yeah.
So
they
moving it
are
on to the
into
artist to make it
polishing.
look good, yeah.
They're into polishing of it. The other thing is 2.7 in October, right? 2.7 is going to include the entire Stanton system.
I think it's going to come in like December, like 2.0 did.
I think they're going to hit. I think they want to give us that for CitizenCon.
Let's see
That
how quick.
Let's
see how
I think
quick
that-
2.5 rolls out.
I think the problem. Yeah, I agree. I think that they need to get 2.5 out the door in a hurry.
I don't think 2.5.
Go ahead.
I don't think 2.5 is as big of an issue. 2.4 was massive amounts of change, right? Huge change, which is why it was delayed. 2.5 is not. It's not changing the wheel. It's adding on to the new wheel. Like it's.
I know, but you're ignoring Imperial hex. Green Imperial hex, sorry. Adding a gigantic station like that to the map might cause some issues. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. I think those are issues that they might, solve. We'll see. But whenever 2.7 does drop, it's going to be the entire Stanton system, and in that system, there will be procedurally generated planets.
Moons.
So.
Yep.
And planets.
What would be procedurally generated?
The other planets in Stanton.
All the worlds and asteroids and moons in Stanton.
The only one that I can actually see being procedurally generated would be Microtech.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, but all the moons would be. And there's lots of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Moons and asteroids. Probably not planets, though.
Microtech would probably be procedurally generated because it's almost entirely snow.
That's what I'm saying. If there is one, it will be Microtech, but...
It's a lot harder to procedurally generate city worlds. That's
Yes.
something they're still working on, I think.
Why not
Because,
Crusader or Hurston?
Well, Hurston is a city world. It's a factory world. And ArcCorp is a city world. And Crusader is a gas giant.
In the description of ArcCorp, it says it's the most visually impressive of worlds. While the other planets, even polluted Hurston, retain some indication of their natural origins, Arcor is entirely a constructed world. So Hurston isn't entirely a factory planet.
Just mostly.
It's
I
mostly.
I still think it might be easier for them to hold off procedurally generating a factory world. I mean, maybe parts of it are still natural, but you know what I mean.
In the monthly report, they did say they were going to temporarily put the landing zone from Levski Nix down on the Stanton planet, just as a temporary thing.
You mean the Stanton system? Stanton is the system.
Yeah.
No, in this week's monthly report, it specifically said the Stanton planet. That
There
could
is
just be a
no
typo.
Stanton planet.
In that case, it's actually a mistake because Stanton is the system.
Ah.
Anyway, I think it's like 2.7 is going to be extremely exciting. 2.5 will be good. We don't really know much about 2.6, do we? No, eh? Okay. Now, so we've talked about 2.7. Also, actually, here's one thing that's interesting to note. Also in the 2.7 release is going to be a brand new takeoff and landing mechanic. So they're working on a new landing and takeoff.
It's not gonna suck anymore?
Theoretically, yes.
Hey!
It sucks right now.
The one thing I really
takeoff
want
and landing is the worst.
The one I want them to fix is selecting cruise points. If you're in 2.4 and you're far out at like the place and you look back at everything, you can't tell what you're jumping to. And they've said that they're going to fix that, but
that's just UI.
Yeah.
That's not mechanics, that's just changing the UI.
Lock Austri says that we need item system 2.0 badly. We have
kidding!
But we have it. We have the first. Yeah, we do. We have the first implementation of it.
We have port mods. That's not item 2.0.
Well, it's just not the whole thing. You have, like, not all the items have been changed over to be 2.0, but the actual underlying architecture is in.
We have
item system 2.0 also use Data Forge.
Yes.
Yes. It's coming. We're probably going to get a lot of it in 2.5 and a lot more in 2.6. Item system 2.0 will probably be mostly in before 2.7 because 2.7 is Stanton. No?
What?
Nikara,
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was interacting with my niece who's standing over my laptop.
Oh,
right now.
okay. Okay.
She's just a disembodied hand?
Okay, now I want to get to the interesting thing from this week.
Oh, because that's not the
Bengal.
interesting thing.
No. There's something more interesting. The leak.
Yeah.
No?
The leak. It's a leak, sort of. It's a leak of a whiteboard scribble.
I like the whiteboard scribble though.
I still think there's a possibility it could be CIG just trying to wind us up.
It could be, but look at that whiteboard scribble.
I like it.
Anvil Hurricane with CR. UK is working on the Origin 600, the Merchantman, and the Aegis Eclipse. Ready to concept are the Origin 85X, which is part of the
890.
stupid 890 that I hate, and a Misk Racer.
And the Banu Merchantman. Don't miss that.
I said the Banu.
You said.
Did you? Okay.
In concept is the Lightning, which, I mean, we saw the Lightning a long time ago, and I still think it was a mistake that we saw it.
That might be why it's back in concept.
Wasn't it pretty much because we only saw it because it was the worst kept secret around at the time?
We knew that it was happening, and we also knew
we
it's not going to
hadn't
be.
seen it until the Great Leak of 2015.
No, we saw it. We actually saw it in a. It was at the very bottom of a design, like one of those documents that they do that show us how they design.
Yeah,
things.
that was after though, David. That was after the leak.
Oh, it was after the leak? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I didn't look at the leak at all, so I don't know what was in it.
No, it was in the leak, and then we saw it at the bottom. I think they just didn't care anymore.
It looked The lightning looked a little bit like the Batmobile from the Chris Nolan Batman movies.
Totally.
And the last one that they have on here is ready for sale, Terrapin.
That's the mining vessel, or is it a mining vessel?
It's a vessel that can be used for mining. It's just talked
Is it an
about
alternative starter?
It's talked about as a very, very, very heavily armored ship. One of the most heavily armored small ships that exist.
Now, and they did actually talk a bit about starting vehicles when they talked about, like, when they briefly referenced this in Reverse the Verse, basically saying that the two starter vehicles are always going to be the Aurora and the Mustang. Those are the base starter vehicles, but they are doing other small starting vehicles. Like the Reliant is a starting cargo hauler kind of thing. The honestly, the Hull A is a starting cargo hauler. The Dragonfly is almost a starting. Like there's all these little ships that are kind of starters, but they're not 100%, right?
Yeah,
They're still specialized in role.
Yeah. Even something like the Prospector is sort of the starting mining ship. And,
now, Shiver.
At some point, we'll probably get a starter for salvage.
This was just seen randomly on a whiteboard in the back, right?
Yeah.
And I know some people are saying that this was probably planted as, like, it's a fake, it's planted, right?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
If it were, Lando would have been like,
yeah. One.
Yeah.
Two,
I think they probably would have put in like a bagel reference in there or something.
Two, when I did my tour of Manchester, we were walking around and I remember everyone, like you walk in and you just look at people's computers and they show you what they're working on. This was back around CitizenCon and we saw people flying around and getting in and out of retaliators for 2.0, right? So I also remember someone running up and quickly shutting off some guy's monitors because we weren't allowed to see what he was looking, and running up and like erasing everything on a whiteboard because they weren't really ready for the tour. Everyone and that's an organized tour that they knew was going to happen. This is them filming for Around the Verse. I don't think that this was planned. I think it's just no one thought that they should cover it up.
No one thought that they would focus well enough on it that we could actually see it.
Yeah. So
You underestimate the Hennessy. It's great. And
maybe
powerful.
They cut off the bit that we didn't see. It just says rejected ideas.
Never going to make Banu Merchant.
Do not mention or make.
Well, no. Now we definitely know that it's not a fake because they definitely would have put never ever going to produce Prowler.
Yeah.
Just for Jake.
I'm still not sure of the validity of it. It says Banu Merchantman, but there's no flight penis reference.
Oh, that's hideous.
Some of us missed Dovak.
No, I'm so
sad.
I don't understand a Misk Racer, to be honest.
No, neither do I.
I do.
Yeah.
No, outside shot that actually says Misk Razor.
Take one of the engines. Take one of the engines that's on the Hull E and put it on a little tiny ship.
The Origin 85X is pretty standard. We know next to nothing about the Aegis Eclipse.
We know nothing about the Origin.
Awesome, and I want it.
Now, I actually don't believe that scribble says Merchantman.
Well, what do you think it says?
Maskman, or Monkman, or Merkpew.
It looks more like it says Merkman or
Yeah.
Merchman.
Marksman.
I would have, yeah, marksman. I would have gone. Okay, maybe.
Actually thinks that it's going to. This writing was legible.
It's
My
the
God.
Banu Marksman.
Marksman, there you go.
It could be just the boo marksman.
Aren't
Now,
the Banu
last
just like the Ferengi?
Do you remember how last week we were talking about how there needs to be like a luxury, like limo type ship?
Yeah.
Is that the Origin 600?
That's going to
I
be
mean,
the
that would be pretty
origin
freaking
version of the
sweet.
freelancer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think basically that's probably what it's gonna be. I mean, I don't think that's. I don't think that's. I don't think that's gonna be its role, David. I think its role will probably be something akin to a freelancer killer or a constellation killer.
I want bigger Origin ships.
It'll be super swanky though, because that's the way they roll.
Bigger
Multi-crew
Origin ships that aren't
luxury
the
tour.
890.
Oh, there's a good question. Is it a Misk? No, it's definitely a Misk Racer. It's not a Misk Rover.
You're a rover.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited by this little leak, even though they're just design briefs, and this is the kind of stuff that I think
cool
everyone wants to see. What?
I'm tired of ships.
Really?
Yeah.
He's tired of ships.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just tired of spending money because you have to buy all the ships.
I mean, that's like 10% of it. But the other 90% is like, cool, more things to fly around and do nothing with.
Yeah.
Except that those aren't going to come out for a long time, so we get to see them, and
That's what I'm saying.
the hype from them ties us over until 2.7, and 2.7.
No.
Why not?
I want gameplay.
We'll have gameplay by 2.7. They're talking about a commodity system. Commodities means trade. Trade means cargo. So commodities and trade will probably happen in 2.6.
I just want
That's
cargo.
gameplay.
Not only that, but I mean, Grimhex will be a significant expansion to our current game environment. I mean, that station is freaking huge.
And I mean, 2.4 was the first real mission system. Like, we had kind of missions before that, but they were just like weird tacked on things, right?
They were missions.
2.
But it's the same missions.
They're the same missions, but in 2.4 they're actually like acting as missions. You can like track them.
In
You get a reward.
You can track them in 2.0. The only
Yeah,
thing
you can track them for
the
money.
only change to them is that they give you money.
Yeah, so it's.
Give you a reward.
Do you not think that we're going to get quite a few more in 2.5 and 2.6?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there'll be
Maybe.
missions from Grimhex, so yeah.
I really think that by 2 points, I don't think they're going to give us the entire Stanton system with nothing to do in it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I
I'm
think
tired
that's,
of combat missions, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
so am
agree.
I. I don't
No, there
I
needs
don't
to be
enjoy
other content.
combat at all.
So,
Though- I was playing with a HOTAS, like an actual decent HOTAS this week. Oh man, it's so much better.
yeah,
Oh,
You
until it
impressed?
broke.
Until it broke.
What do you mean it broke? How did you break? What?
Did you break it?
You broke.
I've got to RMA it.
Wow.
Which? Oh no.
There's a little pinky trigger. It broke day one.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
That was not made very well.
no. I'm going to be
Type
mentioning
in
that.
Skype
Anyway,
chat. Tell me which one it is. I want to know. I have my suspicions.
wait, what?
Type in
Same.
Skype chat which one it is.
Which one? What is?
The one. Which
Which-
one broke?
Oh, it's you know
Or
which
did you
one
only
it is.
get one?
I only got one.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
Uh,
And
Yeah.
it sucks because here's the thing. Aside from that one piece breaking, it feels amazing. The throttle is It's superb. The throttle is the best piece of kit I think I've ever felt. Anyway,
Yeah, but
save it for the content you're gonna
it's just in
freaking
a
make.
completely inferior one.
Okay, so yeah, we need to have game mechanics.
We need to have non-combat missions.
Yeah. I mean,
It's nice to have more game.
Yeah, exactly. So, I would like to mention quickly how cool the detailing on Grimhex is. You get, even just from the images, you get a lot about the history of the station. It used to be named Green Imperial Station, it looks like, and then Pirates took it over, crossed out the rest of the word green and the rest of the word Imperial, and called it Grimhex.
Crap.
Keep
going. I'll be right back. I'm replacing me with this Star Destroyer.
And
oh,
I don't know. I was just super impressed with the attention to detail in that station, and with the whole audio section where they showed us all the different audio cues you get as you go through it.
I mean, Crusade. The station we've got now is pretty good, but it was also their first, like, if you remember correctly, they cobbled that together for 2.0, right? Like, it was a let's just throw everything together and get something for people to explore. Grimhex is the first one that is custom built. So Grimhex is what we'll really be able to look at and get an idea of what the quality is going to be like in the rest of the game.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And it's really cool that it's buried in an asteroid as well. It should make for pretty amazing visuals on the outside. Especially with it being all, like, broken.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be an orbit around Yella. But since there's already an asteroid belt there.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
There's pirates there all the time.
Yeah.
Now, if you...
I thought it was interesting how they had the sounds in midair and things like that. When you will experience these things in VR, that's going to have quite an interesting effect, because I can't think of any other game that's actually really done that.
No, it's really cool. Like,
they're planning
three-dimensional sound.
They're planning the game for the future. It's not planned for now. It's planned for, 3 years in the future. And 3 years in the future, right now, VR is like, it's a niche, cool thing, but it's not good. 3 years from now, VR is going to be
incredible.
The way to go, really.
Well, you'll have like 4K per eye, and it'll be just ridiculous.
I'm finding even like the Vive, the resolution on the Vive right now, it's not the hardware that's the problem. It's graphics cards can't do it yet.
How does the 1070 hold up?
Lovely. 1070, you need to add some super sampling, and if you add some super sampling, it looks good, and the headset can handle it. You just have to push it more.
Have you tried using DSR?
DSR?
Dynamic scale rendering.
No.
See, that's sort of there's actually one big thing that's coming to VR. It sounds like a lot of them are looking at it. It's called foveated rendering, and that basically it tracks where your eyes are, and that's the part of the scene that it fully renders.
Yeah.
And it basically LODs down the entire rest of the scene, because other than your pupil, like the actual center of your eye, the rest of your eye can't see worth crap.
Well, and the other thing that still hasn't been implemented is NVIDIA has the new VRWorks that renders the entire scene at once. It doesn't have to render the scene per eye. So it renders the scene and then it places your eyes rather than rendering the scene in each eye. So it literally doubles the amount of processing power. The problem is the games have to be programmed for use with that, and none are yet. Now, I mean, if you were watching E3, Bethesda was like, yes, we're going to do Fallout 4 in VR. And you sit there and you think there's no way, because Fallout 4 it still looks like a Bethesda game, but it looks good compared to all other VR games, and then you think, well, look at what Valve has done. The games that Valve has made.
Let me clarify. They want to do Fallout 4 in VR on an Xbox,
which is absurd. But yeah, okay.
But it's the programming that has to catch up, not the hardware. The hardware is ready. The software is not yet.
I think that it's both things, personally. I think there's a lot of things that can be... there's a lot of breakthroughs left to be made in VR.
Yes, and definitely.
Like on the hardware side. But really, it's game developers and programmers getting used to programming for environments that are meant for VR.
When it comes to VR as well, there's a different philosophy driving the graphics being rendered. Instead of... It comes down to latency time, which is something that hasn't been considered before, which is why SLI or Crossfire is not recommended for use in VR, because it introduces latency.
Yep.
And that's it. So it requires a new look at things.
So there's hope that there'll be a massive improvement in multi-GPU as well, to the point where you could even have 2 GPUs and have each one rendering a different eye on a VR headset.
Yes.
Would massively improve things.
Yep. And the other thing that I think it's important that everyone remembers is Star Citizen came out at the perfect time. Like, it was announced at the perfect time, because it was announced right alongside the Oculus Rift. Basically. Like, they've known the entire way through development that VR is something that they have to consider. Yes, they're not working on it yet, but they know that it's there. And part of the problem is the games that we're seeing in VR right now are things that people have put together in the past 6 months when they're like, let's do a VR game really quick because we can. We haven't had any VR games that have had 4 years of development time ready for this game because no one else was willing to take the risk. And even Star Citizen isn't taking the risk, but they know that it's there and they're planning for it. They've got people making sure that it will be ready for VR when the time comes.
Okay.
On a related note, I read in Frankfurt the animation thing. They have tweaked and working on the head bob animations.
Yeah.
So, I want to take a step back here, way back to when we were talking about how they said in the monthly report that Alessi will be placed down on the Stanton planet.
Yeah.
Now, I think what that actually means is that instead of Nyx, or not. I think what it means is that they've created a procedurally generated planet inside the Stanton system and put Levski on it. Not that they think that there's a planet named Stanton, because there is.
Okay.
That actually makes sense.
And yeah, so I think they just sort of shoved it in there somewhere into Stanton because they want us to have it, and it's done, but they aren't ready for jump points and having another system come online at the same time. And Nyx is also a bit of a harder nut to crack too.
Sergeant Jokic says there's no good VR games. I would like to present.
He's right.
I would like to present for counter argument Project Cars and budget cuts.
There's no good VR games. There are good VR experiences. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
Project Cars is a game.
I haven't actually played Project Cars, to be honest.
It's a full racing game that is completely able to be played in VR.
I mean, Elite Dangerous is completely playable in VR right now. Unfortunately, I don't like Elite Dangerous, but I did try it in VR, and I actually tried it with the HOTAS that I'm testing, and it's much better in VR than it is not in VR, to be honest. Like,
I've heard it's a pretty amazing experience in VR. But I mean, eventually you're going to still get down to the fact that the gameplay sucks. But
yeah, which is the problem with Elite.
Yeah.
But the VR portion
Project
of it
Cars.
is actually good. I should. I haven't gotten Subnautica to work yet. I downloaded it though.
It's
Portal 2.
Haven't tried
those in VR.
You can.
I'm pretty sure you can.
You know, Portal 2 is pretty antiquated in terms of graphics too. It probably worked quite nicely.
And there is,
but
Portal
it does rely on
experiences.
momentum.
Half-Life, Minecraft.
What were you
Portal
going to say, Aaron?
Experience is specific for VR, and it's been made. Portal Experience. It's like Portal Experience or something. It's a third-party thing, but it's still the Portal ideas. So
cool.
There are good games coming to VR though. Budget cuts when it's out
Project Cars is out right now. It's a like an actual realistic car
It was
sim
actually
game.
well, and it was out before it was
Yeah.
a big VR.
Yeah, but
And
now
honestly,
it just
we get-
works with
I
VR.
did not enjoy Fallout 4. But
I know.
if Fallout 4 is playable in VR,
I'll play it in VR.
I will play it.
It was actually, believe it or not, they got it working in Vorpex for a while before the Vive even came out.
Yeah.
But it was like there were problems with it. But it is possible to do it because it was done.
You
in
can
Vorpex.
do it with Skyrim.
And okay, I need to clarify something, and Jake can agree with me here. There is a massive difference between a 3D movie and a VR game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, 3D movies are stupid and they should be done away with because they don't change the experience at all.
The only one
disagree.
I would disagree with you on a couple, but it's overdone.
I
Things
disagree
that,
with you on all of the movies that are filmed in 3D.
Filmed in 3D, fine, but any that add 3D after are horrible.
I agree. The Avatar was a legit 3D movie,
Yeah.
and so was Gravity.
Oh
Which were
my
excellent.
god. Gravity in 3D was insane.
It was necessary, but there's so few movies that film for 3D,
Yeah.
and then they're all put 3D.
But I don't want
Anyway.
I don't want them to do away with 3D because you still end up every once in a while with this amazing experience.
I just think that VR is more important than 3D movies, in my
I think VR movies would be really freaking cool. I can't wait to see some really good ones.
Yes.
Sergeant Jokic is saying that it's got to be practical for it to succeed. Remember how impractical tube televisions were?
Fair enough.
PCs, honestly, desktop PCs were
Super impractical.
Very impractical. Laptops were ridiculous. Cell phones. Do you remember
hang on a
cell
minute.
phones that were literally this size?
Yeah.
Hello. How are you today?
Oh, welcome.
What about the Nintendo
Welcome to
Wii?
Inside the Verse.
Go ahead, Ship.
There's no one there, Eris. What about the
things don't
Nintendo
have to
Wii,
be
though? Isn't that
practical.
just as impractical? Because you have to stand there in front of your TV set with a remote
great.
control and hope no one comes in and sees you humiliating yourself. Whereas at
Hey,
least when
maybe
you've got a VR helmet on, you can't see them.
I thought that's a great joke.
You know what
that
else
was
is
basically
impractical?
like-
Home.
Car phones. Oh my god, car phones. Oh.
The other thing that it was like, I saw this funny thing on Reddit that was basically like VR is kind of meh. Even with controllers, kind of meh. And then Pokemon Go, virtual reality.
Well, okay, no.
It's
VR
AR.
is not meh. VR is insanely awesome. The experiences are short and don't capture you yet. They will, but it's going to take 6 months. Anyway, we should probably switch over to questions.
Yep.
So we stopped talking.
Hey,
about
everybody.
cars.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. BRB,
Bye.
LOL.
And we're back. Shiver is murdering small insects, and David is
I
gone.
heard this.
Anymore, he's not.
I mistimed 60 seconds.
Yes. Welcome back. Time to ask questions. Ask your
Question
questions.
time.
I made a French press of coffee.
I am looking at a GIF of emus.
Listen. Oh.
I'm also out of beer.
Are you enjoying that, audio
Switching
listeners?
over to port.
Are you enjoying that? Mm.
Question from Loch Austri. In the monthly report, nothing was mentioned about the new Babbage or Lorville, the Microtech and Hurston landing zones. Are they still under production? Last we heard about them was several months ago. Yeah, they're still under production. Microtech and Hurston will be in 2.7. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're like, I don't think they're gonna specifically say
Or they're
Microtech's being worked
done.
on and Hurston's being. It's just like it's part of 2.7.
They were working
At
on
this
them like a
point.
year ago. They're totally done.
I suspect there's a lot. It's certainly possible that that 2.7 patch is going to be redonkulous. Like, just absolutely massive.
We might actually get up to like 50 gigs on the 2.7 patch.
We might. The other thing is, they might actually, depends on how many landing zones there are, even if there's, actually, that's how, what it depends on. Depends how many landing zones there are, but they could legitimately claim, if they get 2.7 out by the end of the year, that the Persistent Universe has officially kicked off with its first system.
I don't think the PU is going to kick off until they have two systems connected via jump points, but
There you go. That's your definition?
yeah,
Okay.
that's mine.
Legit.
Triangularity asks, the Bengal is a huge ship. How many do you believe will be in service by the different orgs? How big orgs should it be before they use one? Would be cool to see two or more of those in close battle.
You're gonna you have to steal one from the UE Navy. Good luck.
Okay.
Test will have one.
You know how in Eve, when those huge, crazy, giant scale battles are super rare and don't happen very often, and when it does, it's kind of insane. Star Citizen will be like that.
Yeah, and I should mention there's one other way to get a Bengal in the game, other than stealing it from the UE Navy. That is to retrieve a derelict one.
Okay.
And repair it.
Let's say you're us.
However,
INN is not big enough.
Can I just tag on one more thing?
Yeah.
The only problem is that they've already made it clear that if you repair a Bengal, like all of them belong to the UE, if you repair a derelict one and bring it back, they're going to be like, thank you,
Hey.
We'll have our Bengal back now.
Yeah. Let's say we're INN, right? And there's like, what, 20 people in INN? We're a small organization. We'll be able to run an Idris, maybe. What if one of us found a Bengal, and we find the location of the Bengal?
Sell that.
How much do we sell it for?
20 billion credits.
All of your credits and being indebted to us for the rest of
Forever.
time.
Yes.
I'll take 3 cats.
Conrad Headclot asks, what are your thoughts on the rumor that most of the verse is done?
I don't think it's... No. I mean, let's be real. It's all been concepted. We have that concept in our hands right now.
And I mean, it depends what you want, like how you term that. The lore for most of the universe is done.
Yep.
Like Sherry Heiberg has been working with the writers on creating stories and information for every planet in the entire verse.
Yeah.
And every system.
Do you know what I realized the other day?
What's that?
Ms. Heiberg, her entire job is to be the nerdy one that's like, excuse me, it was 12 parsecs, not 14. Thank you.
Exactly.
That's her whole job.
Yep.
Her job is amazing. Her job is to basically construct the universe.
That's awesome.
And I mean,
that was a Star Wars joke, by the way.
No one. Yes, I know it was. No one has a cooler job title than Archivist.
Yes,
That's
it's the
amazing.
coolest job title.
It's also important to note that technically, depending on how far along procedural technology is, yes, most of the verse is done because they just plug it into the procedural planet tech and but like it's a technically done, not a realistically done, right? You know what I mean?
It's not like they have to create more planets. They know what they're going to do. They just have to do it.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem for them is beyond ships, beyond planets and stars and everything else is going to be landing zones. And the whole deal with landing zones is once they can create the initial art set for each of the different type of landing zones, then they can build them really fast.
I actually think there's going to be a bigger problem for them.
And they have about 5 or 6 landing zones right now that we know of that are mostly done.
There's supposed to be what, 5 per planet?
There's supposed to be no. There's supposed to be
Well, it
400.
depends on
400 in
planet,
the
doesn't
verse.
it?
Yeah.
A
There's
lot of
supposed to be
planets.
4 or
Earth
500.
would have like 4 or 5.
There's supposed to be 400 or 500 in the 100 systems that are out there.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds crazy, but if you think about it on an MMO scale, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about towns in Warcraft.
Yeah. I think
Sorry, David, I interrupted you. What do you think is
that's
going to be a bigger problem than landing zones?
items.
I don't think so, because they've been creating items like full bore for like the last 2 or 3 years.
We haven't seen.
They fired out a lot of those to outsource
Yes.
partners. They said that they had thousands of items already built.
We haven't seen
Behavior's
them.
been making that stuff.
No.
Yeah,
Some
it's
of
just we
you
need
haven't
to see them.
seen them.
Oh! Look at that! Look at that shot across
Maybe.
the bow.
Thing is, they need to have an insane amount of items. Like it's got to be more than most MMOs, because most MMOs you've got your character's inventory, that's it. This, you have your inventory, all your guns, all the modifications for your guns. You have your ships, every single item for each of your ships, and each of your ships have different items, and you've got what, 20 ships in your bloody hangar. You have to have tens of thousands of bloody items at the end of the day.
Elder Scrolls Online, I think, did a really good job of having item density in their game.
Yes, but like CIG has to have that kind of item density, and they have to have it at launch.
They will.
No, I agree, but this is something that I know that from following it that they've been working on. Like,
I know they've been working on it
for a long time.
I know they've been working on it. I think that is, like, I think they're going to have a harder time with item density than with landing zones.
When it comes to these items, the hard bit is getting the underlying code to work, to recognize the item as an item the way you want it to, and respond the way you expect it to an engine. After that, it's simply a case of artists come in and make the appropriate textures, animators come in, and it gets rigged up. So it's once that basic, once the first bit of implementation for the coding is done, then it's mostly an artist's job, which isn't
all
as
art.
full on.
It's all art.
Rusty
3D art.
Gears has a good question. What do you think the chances of a race reveal like the Tavarin happens at Gamescom or CitizenCon?
High. Very high.
Really?
Yeah. I think the
very
Tavarin
low.
are part of Squadron 42 in a big way.
I don't think we're going to get a reveal of them. I think it's going to be kept secret until it happens in the game.
No,
I don't think we're going to get a reveal.
I think we'll get a reveal.
Yeah. Dynasterim says, question, thoughts on all the Mobiglass concepts from, and spells Mobiglass wrong. God, everyone does. Even the monthly
All
reports
lower camel case, everyone.
Hey,
Moby Glass.
The only
with
capital
one S.
letter is the G.
It's a
It's
G.
camel case.
The
Remember-
only capital letter is the G.
remember, everyone who misspells Glass owes behavior a drink.
Yeah.
Yep.
You owe a shot to behavior if you misspell Moglass, which is funny because CIG owe them because they misspelt it like 4 times in the monthly report.
There's a gas
thought-
station right by my house that I showed to David while he was here that says mobile gas, all one word. And
So close.
it makes me look twice every time I drive by it.
So thoughts on all the Mobiglass concepts from the latest ATV?
Oh, Zane is a wizard.
Pretty nice.
I-
There is some information that I would like to have on it that is absent, but
I
yes.
really wish they could clone Zane.
Yeah, there needs to be
Well,
more
he's-
of him.
He has got his own team now, and
But
the
none
shots
of
that they
those
showed,
But
none of those
they're
they,
not
teams
they
are
showed
Zane.
us that.
We need like an entire team of Zane. We need 8 of him per ship. Zeus Anoxia asks, when do you think CIG will enable people to share in the rewards on missions?
Probably soon.
Yeah.
That's just
I
mean,
Because, yeah,
right now,
Before 2.7.
right now missions are unique.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter because if you're on the same mission, you'll both get the reward anyway. making that a bit more robust and make more sense. Quest sharing should be a thing.
Yes.
That changed everything when it was added to World of Warcraft. But yeah, that needs to be a thing. Bye, David.
See you then. He's gone to see when Star Marine's going to release.
Yep.
But they showed us those UI mock-ups when we went on the tour, and they've been made to be modular.
Oh?
So they're looking at the whole modular thing a lot, not just
Was
the
this
ships.
one of the things that you couldn't talk about that we've now
Yes!
seen, and now you can talk about it?
Yes!
So I have a question for you guys. If David sees his shadow, does that mean Star Marine will take another 6 weeks?
Yes. In fact.
I'm back.
Oh, hi.
I don't believe you.
Did we ask another question while it was gone? Okay, so Zeus and Anoxia also asks, when do you think the ability for ships to communicate with each other to allow them to queue jump with other ships at the same time automatically?
Why do you keep asking when?
You
It's
don't
more
know
like
this.
if.
It'll be a Wednesday.
We
Okay,
don't
here's another one then.
know.
Okay, you know how CIG always say they can't answer when questions?
We
That much worse.
especially can't answer when dates.
It'll be on a day that ends with Y.
woefully.
I don't know. I didn't
I
think
wish.
we were gonna get Reputation until the freaking beta happened. But hey, we have that now, so
It all depends on what they get ready next. Okay. Here's one that's not a when question and is a good question considering, EA and Ubisoft and etc.
Yeah.
Zeus Anoxia asks, do you think Squadron 42 will require an internet connection to the RSI servers to play, or will all the assets be downloaded and the game played from your PC?
Aaron's gone on record and saying no, you can play it offline.
it's 100%
Yeah, you can play it completely
offline.
offline.
It's been that from the beginning.
Yep.
You might have to sign in. You might have to
if
sign in
that
to
changes-
download it.
Yes, you have to sign in to download the game to make sure that you own it. Then once you do that and you download it, you can unplug your Ethernet cable and play all the freaking Squadron 42 you want.
This hasn't been reiterated in a long time. It is sometimes good to reiterate. Unlike other spacefaring games that are very elitist, Squadron 42
I like it.
Missile command?
Shiver, I'm going to task you with asking Aaron Roberts that question again.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh god, I can't speak. Triangularity asks, during the ATV we saw that Grim Hex had a racing tunnel area ambience. Do you believe that there will be racing course at Grim Hex? Will there be a racing course at every big city? Probably.
Maybe
Probably
not
not every
every
big
big
city.
city.
Definitely
Most.
Grimhack.
A lot of them, sure.
Didn't they have or talk about a racing mode that was basically Super Mario Kart in its own way? You could use weapons and things like that. Maybe Grim Hex is the perfect place for such a less than legal race.
I think that's Tortoise League. I might have written a story about it. That's the Tortoise League of racing, where weapons are allowed, and you don't necessarily need the fastest ship because
Why
you can blow up
Tortoise?
the other ships.
I would have went with like
Tortoise.
Slug.
I would have
Slug
went
League.
with like
Slug
Jaguar.
League.
It's a
But
jag.
you didn't know.
The
did you? You went
Sleeg.
with a turtle.
Then you could just call it the Sleeg.
It's a jag.
And then, instead of having, turtle shells, you can have missiles.
Yes. Nitro Typat asks if Squadron 42 is released buggy and not playable until March. Let's say it's released in December and is not really playable until March. Do you think people will rage at CIG for releasing it too early and ruining their first experience with the story? Yes.
If it takes 3 months to fix a single-player game, anyone's entitled to rage.
Here's all they got to do.
They told us already that it will be released as a final quality game, so do it.
Here's all they got to do. Slap a beta word in front of it and call it a day.
Because that's worked so well for the pre-alpha.
Yeah,
hey,
people.
It's better than Arkham Knight.
Oh, Jake with the call out.
I'm still salty about that.
Yeah.
Still really like
Turns out, wasn't that great of a video game?
I liked it.
I know
You're
you
Batman.
did,
Rivals 84.
It was nothing new, but yeah.
Rivals 84. Do you think we'll be able to slave our nav computers to do synchronized jumps? Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, yes, eventually.
Yes.
They're starting to figure that out.
Triangularity. SC Hotas at CitizenCon. Almost definitely.
Absolutely, maybe.
If they decide to do it. I mean, we were supposed to see it 6 or 7 months ago. I think there's something wrong.
They might be having some quality problem. Rusty Gears.
Quality problems.
Should the Polaris Corvette have no carrying capacity, snub carrying only, or a full-sized hangar?
What? Which ship?
The Polaris Corvette. What the Idris was originally supposed to be.
Snubs.
Exactly. So 3, no, not snubs. 3 Hornets. That was the original capacity of the Idris. There you go.
But isn't that what you can have in an Idris now, though?
No, you can have much more than that.
More than that now.
Is it 3
5?
cutlasses?
Something like that. It's
Oh,
big.
yeah, it's 3 cutlasses. That's right.
Yeah. Cutlasses are way bigger than Hornets are.
The Polaris
right.
Corvette should be able to hold 1 or 2 Hornets. Probably not more than 3.
What do you think the Polaris's role should be then, or is going to be? General utility,
a blockade
exploration.
I think it's going to be like the Idris is clearly a military vehicle. It's big, it's blocky, it's kitted for fights. The Polaris should be more sleek, more
literally the blockade runner from Star Wars.
Well, it should be more like running. Okay, an Endeavor has almost no protection, but an Endeavor will be extremely useful in the verse. You want protection for an Endeavor. An Idris, probably too much for Endeavor protection. A Polaris might be enough. Like it's a middle ground. It's something, you know.
So,
My thoughts.
So there's a couple people saying that the Polaris either won't hold any ships or shouldn't hold any ships. What do you think about that?
Oh, it should hold ships, definitely.
I think too. Especially since it's supposed to replace the Idris's original role.
Yeah.
So the other thing to mention is that this is also an RSI ship. The Bengal is an RSI ship as well, so I think it's just going to be a tiny miniaturized version of the Bengal.
Keep in mind the only RSI. Keep in mind the only RSI. The only RSI ship that doesn't hold another ship currently is the Aurora.
Yep.
The Orion doesn't hold another ship.
Well, it holds gajillions of mining drones, but yeah, okay.
Comrade Headclot, when do you think that we'll get more than 24 players per instance?
Like
There's something like
within
48
6
in
months.
ArcCorp now.
Well, they mentioned, what was it, on ATV this week, that
Aren't they
their
already
new
testing 36?
their new network code is going to be part of what allows them to expand that cap. So 2.7, I think, because that's what they're working on the new networking system for.
I'd imagine they're going to skip it for 2.5 and 2.6, and they're just going to focus on 2.7 as probably like 50 to 100 players per instance. like
It's stable by then.
well, keep in mind, like Chris has
man.
said 2.7 is the full system. Everyone, it sounds like 2.5 and 2.6 are kind of placeholder almost, and all of the focus really is on 2.7 at this point.
Yep.
Because 2.4 was the big change. 2.0 was the biggest change. 2.4 was persistence. 2.7 is a system. It's those are the milestones. 2.0, 2.4, 2.7.
The other thing is, I'm going to tell you right now, Jake, 2.7 is going to be unstable as hell. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'd love to stream Star Citizen again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll happen. It'll happen.
I've got a few I want to get to quickly. Jesus, we're almost
Until
at 4.
then, Factorio, because Factorio is great.
about
Bribbles
to
asks
crash.
the question that we have to answer every week. So, Jake, I'm throwing this one to you. When do you think Star Marine will release?
Yesterday.
Comrade Headclot asks, they mentioned in ATV that they have a dedicated FPS programmer. Do you think that's for the PU, Star Marine, or both? Squadron 42.
Yes.
That's for Squadron 42.
Yeah. So that's for Squadron. They want to nail down the FPS mechanics for Squadron.
And then it'll
That's it.
bleed over to the PU.
Yeah.
They probably already
Comrade-
have a better working FPS thingy.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then what we have, absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably
They
works.
actually, if you look at the monthly report this week, and if you listen to the Week in 10 this week, Shiver and I briefly talk about the news on the FPS front, which is that they're doing a lot of work on finalizing the animations for all of the rifle weapons and the pistols. Finalizing. So Comrade Headclot asks, with the Tiny Build versus G2A thing still going on, do you think the Squadron 42 and by extension Star Citizen will be affected by software piracy?
No.
Nope. There's almost no way in which that would ever happen.
It's not the same kind of game.
They don't use keys.
I shouldn't say that. Squadron 42, there's some potential because it can be played entirely offline.
Star Citizen, no.
Star
Here's the
Citizen
thing.
is completely immune to that problem.
Here's the thing. What he's referring to, I am the one who wrote this article, so
Yes.
let me put in my 2 cents. What he's talking about is not necessarily people just stealing the game outright, because that will happen always. 100% of the time, doesn't matter what game it is, people will copy it and steal it somehow. What he's referring to is people charging, buying games with stolen credit cards, charging back the credit cards, but they have the keys, and then reselling them. That's the whole thing with G2A that's happening right now. That will not happen with Star Citizen because they don't use keys. It's
That's not
not on
possible.
Steam or any other retail storefront. It's just their own
Now,
website. That's like
could
like BattleNet.
Can I just ask a question first here?
Yes.
So could they create an RSI account, buy a package, charge back the package, and then sell the account?
They could, but then they have an email address associated with it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Lock Austria asks, in the monthly report, the Foundry 42 team mentioned that they're working on game mechanics for 2.7. Cargo for 2.7? Almost definitely.
I don't think so. It almost has to be, and I actually think mining might come at the same time as cargo too.
Well, hopefully it'll be earlier than 2.7 because we still don't know what 2.6 may entail.
Actually, maybe that's what it is. 2.6 is cargo and 2.7 is mining.
I'd be okay.
I mean,
Probably.
if we're not going to get the Caterpillar even flight ready for the next patch, it may come in the next one, and it makes sense because they did say they don't want to release a ship without having a point to the ship. What's the point of releasing a cargo ship if you've got no cargo?
Well, there's a problem with that because they did say that they want the Orion to come with mining. So we probably won't get mining in 2.7 because the Orion is still very far away. We will maybe get exploration, though.
They did say the Prospector might come before the Orion, though.
They said it's iffy which one will come first, right?
Like they could probably knock out the Prospector in like pretty damn fast, a month less.
Hopefully,
maybe.
but they've
It's
got other
Misk.
things like, yeah, it is Misk, but they do have other things on their plate. It's about who are they going to assign to it, right?
I think they should assign me.
I agree, but they're mostly focused on Squadron 42. All of the most of their art assets are finishing off like the Vanduul fleet, because the Vanduul fleet is needed for Squadron 42. It's like we're in the point where we don't hear much about Star Citizen. Most of the news we get is about Star Citizen proper. We don't get much news about Squadron 42 because they're trying to keep it secret. Unfortunately, most of the developers are working on Squadron 42 and not Star Citizen, so we're not hearing much, and then everyone complains.
So can I add something to this?
There's still an
Another-
entire studio working on Star Citizen.
Actually, some of Austin's resources have been working on Squadron 42 as well.
An entire studio's worth working on Star Citizen.
It should also
One
be noted
studio.
that
Go.
Behavior is also working on both, but
Yes.
Behavior is doing environments for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Currently. But I wanted to mention just a little tidbit that kind of give people an idea of when Squadron 42 will release. Shiver, who took a trip to Foundry 42, what was it, a month ago?
2 months now.
2 months ago. That was the last trip of the year. They are not doing any more tours because they are in full crunch mode. So, usually it's 6 to 9 months of crunch to get a game out the door, and that was May. So, there you go.
June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Hey, do you know what most video games / movies do right towards the end of production?
Crunch.
Shut down, crunch.
Nope. Reshoots.
Oh, which they're
They
doing.
are doing all the Imaginarium reshoots. Hellcat asks the last question of the day. How tall is CR?
6
Same height
feet.
as me.
And how tall are you?
142.
Nowhere near 6 foot.
He's
Okay,
taller.
here, wait. I have a way we can guess. Hold on. Stand by. Hang on.
Are you gonna put him next to Mark Hamill?
No. Hold on.
I'm holding on to my
Idris
desk.
for scale. How many battlefield maps tall is he?
He
So-
is probably about 5'9", 5'10". Because I am 5'11". And that link right there is me standing next to Chris Roberts.
It's true. Man, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, dude, that was a year and a half ago.
What if he's grown since then?
I don't think
And
that.
with that, I think we should enter what's
Yep.
coming up next.
That's it. That was a good show. We had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Thanks, everybody.
Am I going first?
Hey, you're
As
going
usual?
first.
All right. I am currently working on a review for a little tiny game from our dearest friends at Play Dead Studios called INNside. If you haven't heard of this game, please go check it out. These are the people who made the wonderful indie game from 6 years ago known as Limbo. Please go check out this game. Spoiler, it's good. I'll tell you just how good when my review comes out next week. So, yeah.
Shiver. Oh,
wait.
No, continue. Sorry. I'm bad.
Okay. So, my streaming schedule is changing. It's now consistent, which is nice. I'm going to be streaming Wednesdays starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 11 a.m. and Fridays at 1 p.m. I might have random late night streams if I'm bored / can't sleep / anything else. But those, just follow me on Twitter. But that will be the schedule. It lets me have the problem that I ran into is people would always come in right at the end, and then they're like, "Oh man." So now I'm making it super long so that way people have time to come in. So me and Dolvac are playing Factorial right now. We just started making robots. So that's a good time. If you want to watch us do that, you can follow me on Twitch / Twitter right here. See my name right here. Look at it. Oh, it's on Shiver now. Oh, it's on David now. Oh, it's on Eric now. Oh, there it is. Twitch.tv / Jake Acapella. You can follow Dolvac over at twitch.tv / Papa Dolvac. Because he has become all of our fathers. I'm also we're pretty much going to be playing that in Overwatch for the next month. However, we are switching gears in actually exactly 1 month from today. We are going to be streaming No Man's Sky full time. So that is going to be a partay.
I sincerely hope it is.
I hope it's good.
And then I hope it's good. People have super lofty expectations for that game. I am expecting what I think will happen.
It was the subject of my beef on Casting Beef this week.
I'm expecting a survival game.
I'm expecting shit.
I'm expecting a survival game.
Not to play
like Minecraft or Rust.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a game like Elite Dangerous with a massive amount of content and absolutely nothing interesting to do at all within it.
I think having the ability to make your own crap negates why Elite Dangerous is bad.
Maybe. I hope.
I think so. I'm cautiously optimistic about that game, so we're going to check it out. And then I want to talk about CitizenCon because, as I said earlier, we have pretty much solidified our plans. So, we are arriving Thursday, October
9th, 8th,
7th?
6th.
Yeah. CitizenCon is on the 8th?
9th.
The 9th. It's on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's on the 9th. So what do you think? INN meetup on Saturday?
Probably, yeah.
What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe Friday?
Maybe Friday
No,
or Saturday there will be an INN meetup.
Let's do Saturday because that everybody will be here on Saturday.
We're gonna work around like tests / bad news Baron.
How about we plan ours first and force them to work around us?
I think they've already got theirs planned.
You know what? Ah!
That's all Dolvac's realm, and Dolvac has been.
You know what? I'll figure it out. I'll talk to our
Mr.
dear friends
Dolvac.
over at BNG and test. I'll slap them around.
Hellcat says do a real-time stream with interviews from CitizenCon.
No.
No.
Are you crazy?
Transcribe it while
We
you
do
interview
not have-
them too.
We don't
Are
have
you
real-time streaming
crazy?
technology.
Hey, Hellcat, can I have 10 grand for the equipment to do that? That'd be nice.
We will try and do as many interviews as possible. We're going to try and do.
Remember how
everything we
CitizenCon
can?
worked last year?
Yeah.
We're going to do that again. Except David's going to eat something.
Oh God,
Lots
that
of
killed
things.
me.
Eat. Silly man.
No, I did
Don't
not
use
have.
your wallet
I
this
did not
time.
have food. There was a full 36 hours that I did not eat.
This was your own choice, though. Don't
There was
act
no
like
time.
you were
No,
forced.
there was no time because I was in interviews. and by the
Vince had
time the
time?
interviews, Vince wasn't in the interviews. When I finished the interviews and got to the floor, there were literally 2 shrimp skewers left. I ate them both, and all the other food was gone.
He's
Which is
lying.
why I believe they're
Lying.
not doing food at the CitizenCon event this year because the food was shit.
food was all right.
It was.
I was just pleased there was food, to be honest with you. I thought it was all right. Free, well, inclusive food.
So some other plans we have.
Says, wait, I thought David subsisted on alcohol alone. Yes.
Pretty much. So a couple other things that is happening around that. We are going to be getting interviews. Shiver, hopefully, I'm going to try and set him up and make it work somehow. Is going to be hosting ShivCon 2016. I'll set him up so he can stream to the INN box and do what we did for CitizenCon last year here. I actually want to get in contact with. I want to get in contact with CIG to see if we can restream it, much like we did for E3. That would be excellent. If not, we'll just have the streams open at the same time. And
we're gonna be talking to CIG for a number of things.
Yep. We're also gonna try and get a tour. So
yeah, we'll see.
There's that. I want to take a picture of our INN logo in the wild because Disco Lando refuses to actually show our INN logo on anything.
Yes,
the
he does.
Scrub Lord.
Even though he mentions us literally every single week.
We are on the RTV set. It's there.
Literally every week, Disco's like, well, we didn't want to do 4 in a row because that would be mean to the INN guys. And it's like,
you underestimate our power.
Yeah. You don't know.
All right, Shiver's got stuff on the base.
Sure. We've got postcards this week. Have we got a special guest co-host this week?
Yes,
maybe.
I have confirmed that I'm on.
We have a very special co-host guest of Eris this week. He's going to be extremely drunk.
It's for 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be drunk. You want to come see Eris drunk? Come see Eris drunk.
I mean, you get to see that every week already,
drunk.
Right here.
I'm not drunk right now.
Comedy improv with a little bit of we've borrowed and kept on live support casting beef.
What's wrong with this
who have we got actually casting their beef this week?
Look at it.
Do you want to cast your beef as well, Eris?
Sure, I'll cast my beef too.
There we go.
This week is Jake.
Except I'm not a game developer, so that's kind of.
I know.
It's all right. He's going to be so drunk he won't know how to form coherent sentences.
Anything else, sure?
Cosmic Cataclysm.
That's it for this. Oh yeah, Cosmic Cataclysm. If there's a metalhead out there, yeah, I do Cosmic Cataclysm as well on the base.sc. That's Wednesdays, 7 p.m. BST, 6 p.m. UTC. Oh, and postcards is 2300 UTC Wednesday at the base.sc.
Nakara?
I got nothing.
Buccaneers sale post came out last week, so you can go read that.
I posted
Dragonfly
last week.
Didn't you do a fiction piece?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I wrote a fiction piece last week as well, along with Stormy Winters. We collaborated on that piece, and I also wrote another fiction piece that should be up this coming Wednesday, which is a continuation of my dwarf mining series, which I find hilarious.
It's like what we call Barty.
The
Borf?
In terms of new stuff that I'm writing, I'm sort of in a bit of a. There's a lot of stuff I want to write. There's nothing I have like super planned at the moment. So
cool.
That's where I'm at.
Can I mention what I'm working on reviewing?
Is it coming out next week?
Probably the week after, hopefully.
Then no.
You can mention it next week.
I will
tease
refrain
it. Just
from mentioning
tease.
it.
David's working on a thing.
I'm working on a thing. Stay tuned. There will be some Bulkhead stuff this week. I know that's not strictly INN, but
Bulkheads. It's not episode 3.
It's not episode 3. It's a short, and it's
sort of.
Jake, have you watched it?
Yes.
It's kind of fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So that'll be coming out this week. You'll definitely see it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, 100% coming out this week, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. It'll be
Thursday.
out.
100% Thursday.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
There's your hint as to what's happening.
What else happens on Thursday? Weird. I don't know. Nothing, right? Who knows? What else?
We got transcripts stuff.
Transcripts are standard as
ATV
usual.
on Thursday.
Keep in mind,
and RTV
INN's
on Friday.
Keep in mind, INN's transcripts are probably going to be changing with CIG's changing metrics. They're swapping things up. We've had no 10 for the chairman in 2 weeks. That's probably going to be coming soon, but it's going to be a different show. We've got Lore Makers now. Bug Smashers is its own thing. ATB is going to be its own thing. We're going to have all these things. We will still cover everything. All of that is largely thanks to Mr. Canadian Syrup. If you ever see him anywhere, give him all the hugs
Lick him.
and all the props and possibly a drink or two.
And also, huge thank you to all of his team.
Yes, the team that does the transcripts from Desmarius, Nix, Sunjammer, Shiver, sometimes
Not anymore.
Stormy. Everyone that does the transcripts is amazing.
And Eris. Eris does it as well.
I do RTV.
You help out on ATV sometimes as well.
Sometimes, yeah, when I'm able to. Just keep.
Here comes the end. Here it is.
Keep an eye out for all that. Keep an eye out for all INN's other content, and we're gonna have.
Here it goes. Hello, everyone. It's the
So it's
end of the
gonna be a busy-
show. They can't hear me now. Please go to imperialnews.network for all of our content. It's all right there. Follow us on Twitter. My name's right here. David is something different. Nakara is actually that. At INN to Shiver, and that's what it is. Patreon.com/Imperial News Network if you want to help us eat at CitizenCon. That'd be nice. See you on the verse, everybody. Goodbye. Farewell. We're out. 5,000.
No FaceTime?